Hello Internet. In this video I thought I would go over my external monitor project because a lot of people have been, when I show it publicly when I'm out and about, a lot of people are interested in it, and I thought you might be interested in it as well. So the first thing that started this whole project was I really wanted a monitor that was small and easy to set up and take down and move around, but it needed to be an external monitor that I could plug into my computer via HDMI, and ideally, because I do a lot of touchscreen type things, I wanted it to be a touchscreen as well. I couldn't find something that also was able to work with a dedicated pen, but in theory you could get a capacitive pen for something like this and it would work as well. But anyway, this is the option that I bought. It was not this cheap when I bought it. I bought it several years ago, and I guess it had just come out or something, because I think I paid like $50 for it. um, they've obviously come way down in price. I don't know if this is I don't know if the quality has gone down as well. It might have. I don't know. I haven't bought one of these for quite a while. But anyway, the ones that I bought were very, very similar to this. They had a very, very similar look. And as you can see, it's just the board. But at first I bought this particular item, or an item similar to this, and I was kind of expecting to have like some kind of cover or something around it. But no, it doesn't come that way. It's meant for tinkering and whatnot. So it actually just gives you like the board, and that's it. You have to decide what to do with that on your own, which is fine. I'm perfectly capable of building a kind of a case for it. And so that's kind of what I did. I went ahead and bought one of these, actually two of them, and built cases for each one of them. So, and this is kind of how it turned out. So what I did is, this is a mixture of two different skills that I have. I've got woodworking going on here, and I've got 3D printing going on here. So basically I made a rugged exterior bottom part that the board kind of slides into, and then for the kind of exterior on the top, I made via CAD. I made little pieces that kind of, I guess you'd call it a kind of a veneer, not really a veneer, but I call it the face of the monitor. But those just basically screw onto the piece that's underneath. So there's the back of it. You could easily make the stand more complex than what I did, but for my purposes, this is perfectly fine, and it's perfectly functional. Pardon me. And it's good enough. I don't need anything that's more complex than that. And this is also easily repairable. If the cardboard gets torn off, I just got a new piece of cardboard and tape it on there. It's simple enough. And reuse this cardboard. So that's the back. There's another picture of the front. This is what it looks like when it's stood up. And there's another side view of it stood up. As you can see, this is the wood part, and the facing type deal is just kind of screwed on there. But as you'll see in the next picture, that face is actually what holds the monitor in place from just sliding out this way. I also made 4 little bumpers for each individual monitor that I made, because I wanted them to be able to kind of sit on a specific spot here rather than just upright like this. I felt it would be too kind of top heavy. The whole thing is really top heavy as it is, but I didn't want it to be resting on this edge of the wood. I wanted it to be resting on the edge of the little bumper things. There's a good side view of showing all the ports, and I'll get into that in more detail in the next picture, I think, or in a future picture. I forget where it's at. But anyway, as you can see, there's a little bit of a cut in each one of these pieces. These are just little pieces of wood fastened to a small piece of 1/4-inch plywood there. And yeah, let's see what's next. Oh yeah, here's the end view. So this side needed to be cut a little bit larger, or a little bit deeper, excuse me, because one side of the board has kind of an area where you can put a camera board, and I don't use that. I just use it as an external monitor, so I don't really need a camera on there. You could, in theory, put a camera on there if you wanted to. But anyway, the other side had some kind of electrical component that was very, very close to the edge, and so I had to be very, very careful not to cut too deep there, because it would have injured that, or it could have damaged that electrical component. Oh, let me go back for a second. So just so you know, from what I have from my experimentation with this board, you can obviously, that's HDMI input there, so you can obviously hook it up via regular HDMI cord. Everything's simple there, nothing complex. There's 2 inputs for a mini USB plug. You can either connect this one directly to your computer, and it will give the monitor both power and transfer the USB signal for the touchscreen, or you can just connect via either your computer's USB port or an external power supply, whatever, to this one and just use power. At first, I thought it needed both. At first, I thought it needed both a USB signal to the computer and power to give it extra to actually run it. But it doesn't. You don't want to do that. It doesn't seem to like that. So just remember, it's one or the other from my experience. They might have changed it in the time since I bought this, but that's been my experience. And I've never used these external USB ports. It's made for Raspberry Pi, so that you could plug in like a flash drive or something, or keyboard, mouse, or whatever. I've never used them, but I assume they work. Anyway, so there's a good shot of the little end, the little bumpers, I guess I'm going to call them. Basically, the point of these is to make it contact the desk or whatever surface it's resting on at these end points of these bumpers, rather than the end point of the wood here. Because if it contacts over here, it becomes unstable as if it gets leaned up too straight. So that's why I made those little bumpers there. Oops. So let me go through the CAD files for this, which I believe are behind here. Yes. Okay, so here's what I'm calling the monitor face. This is kind of the first one, and then as you can see, I actually had to cut these. This was a larger set, but my printer is too small. My 3D printer is too small to actually make the full set, so I actually had to cut this thing into 4 different pieces. This is the kind of the outputs. The HDMI input would be down here somewhere. The USB outputs that I never use are up here. The USB inputs are right in here somewhere. And so this is that section of the face there. And as you can see, it actually sticks down a little bit, and that's to prevent the entire board from just sliding out. But I also had to cut this in half, and I made a little slot there. And what I do is I take a toothpick, I cut a little bit of the ends off of the toothpick, and when I have printed both this piece and the piece that goes here, I put the two together. I put the toothpick in there, and I glue the 2 pieces together to make one cohesive unit. I have to be very careful to make it parallel between this surface and the surface of the other piece, because otherwise it won't be necessarily parallel. But that's how I kind of piece the 2 together, and am still able to print it on my teeny tiny little mini Castle 3D printer. So anyway, let me move this so I can actually do something with it. There we go. So here's the next piece to the right. No, yeah, right, to the right. And then there's the next piece down. Hopefully it will allow me. There we go. And then there's the bottom piece. So here's the, I think HDMI in, actually, excuse me, HDMI in is actually up here. But you get the idea that the ports are over here, and this is the other piece that would go into it. So anyway, I believe that that is all for this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please subscribe and like and all that good stuff. Hit the bell if you want notifications. And other than that, I don't think I have anything else for this video. Thanks again for watching and have a great rest of your day. Bye now.